Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Flight Simulator 2020. In today's video I'd like to demonstrate how to perform a steep turn. It's a maneuver that's performed during private pilot and commercial pilot training. It's a very beautiful maneuver. All it consists of is speed and bank ankle management. So hypothetically it goes like this, and the ACS or PTS of the for the check ride. You would use only 45 degrees of bank if you're doing your private, and 50 degrees of banking if you're doing your check ride, commercial check ride. And of course, there's limitations and tolerance, as they call it. So your maximum tolerance when you're performing this maneuver in the check ride is 5 degrees. So you can't be less than 40 degrees in banking, and you can't exceed 45 degrees if you're banking more steeper. And of course you have the airspeed limitation, if I'm not mistaken, 10 knots. So if you want to do your steep turns around 8 knots, you can't exceed 90 or decrease less than 70 knots. That's the 10 knot limitation or tolerance that the examiner would give you if you were to select that airspeed. And of course the RPM setting will be adjusted based on the pilot's discretion, and so usually it's like 21 to 2200 RPM is the most preferred RPM setting when doing maneuvers. So I'll climb to 3,000 feet to show you how to do the steep turn. So when you're doing a steep turn, this requires visual reference of landmarks in the horizon, and maybe a slight, look at maybe impossible, a slight glimpse at the interior of the cockpit. Look at the instruments, make sure you're not overshooting the bank or you're descending or ascending when you're supposed to, and also managing the airspeed that you told the examiner that you would maintain when you're doing the maneuver. So around southeast, somewhere around that range, I'll be selecting a landmark that I can use as a reference when I'm doing my steep turns. So the purpose of this maneuver is to be able to multitask in terms of look at your airspeed, your bank angle, and also pitch. At the same time, look at vertical speed indicator right here on this side to make sure that you're maintaining the airspeed that you desire, and that you're not off your altitude that you selected or we're told to maintain. So right now we're closing in around 3,000 feet here. I'm just gonna lean the mixture around 8%, and then we're gonna turn right towards the south. Right in front of us is Mayport NES. That's the military airport. So for my selected landmark or visual reference I'll use for the steep turns is this river that's exactly in front of us on the 180 right here. So this is how it's supposed to go. The examiner would tell us to make a left turn 360, and afterwards make the same application but this time on the right turn 360. I would tell the examiner or instructor as well that this is the river that's in front of me. That's my selected reference point, a visual reference point that I want, and that the bank angle will be set to 45 as required in the ACS or PTS of the check ride, and 50 if you're doing commercial once again. So you're going to notice that the 45 degree mark in the bank is not marked, but it's actually right here. It's usually a circular dot in between 30 and 60 degrees. And also right here is your vertical speed indicator. You want to make sure you're not ascending, you're maintaining your altitude. And then right here is we're around 9 knots. That's the airspeed I will maintain while I'm performing this maneuver. And then the RPM setting. And then of course you have the altitude, 3,000 feet. That's the selected altitude that I want. And then the RPM setting will be set to around 2200 RPM. And right now we're good to go. Just got bank to the right, heading 180 south, and I'll start my maneuver from there. Always pick a reference that's easy to catch. So right now, I already select 9 knots, 3,000 feet on a heading 180. My visual reference is the river in front of us. The RPM setting has been set to 2200, and then I'll start my turn. So I'll do a 45-degree bank. That's private standards. As you're gonna notice that the altimeter is gonna start descending, and then the vertical speed indicator is showing a descent. So now, in order to stop the descent or arrest it, you just gotta lessen the bank. That's all. So if you wanna prevent a descent, just lessen the bank. And if you're ascending too much, increase the bank, so just make the bank steeper, like around 50, 45. And then after that, just recover back to the original, like 45 degree that was within the standard. And once you close into your heading 180, just lessen the bank and recover. Once you close into the 180 heading, just lessen the bank and just make it straight and level. And after that, we're going to start right turn to the right, 360 to the right, 45 degrees right here. Once again, if you're descending, stop the descent by lessening the bank. As you see, the airspeed is within tolerance. I selected 90, I'm like around 82, so that's appropriate. And once I'm close to my heading 180, I'm going to lessen the bank and then recover by just letting it straight and level right here. That's how you do a steep turn in private, but this time I'll do a slightly steeper commercial standard, so around 50, like around right here. So same application. If you're descending, you can arrest it by lessening the turn to lessen the steep turn. And if you're increasing, if you're actually going up, ascending, you can just steepen the turn to stop it. So if you're going up, steep the turn. If you're going down, lessen the bank. As you can see right here. So 180, recover, straight and level. And now we do it to the right, 50 degrees, commercial standard to the right, as it is right here. We made our turn. I'm descending, so I'm going to lessen my bank right here, as it is. Like this, and then once I'm back to 0 feet per minute, I'm going to return my bank back to 50 degrees. Right about now. So it's always about multitasking, make sure that everything's coordinated properly where you're supposed to be. After you're hitting 180, recover back straight and level, and then make sure you just pitch the aircraft downwards, make sure you don't ascend very high. And there you have it. That's how you perform a steep turn. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you like what you see, then consider liking. And if you're not a current subscriber, then please consider subscribing for more future videos. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.